Good morning, children. Today in this class we are going to see about combustion and flame. What is combustion? Burning of any material is called as combustion. And what is flame? We use different kinds of fuel for various purposes at home, in industry and for running automobiles. Fuel. What is a fuel? It is a thing which is used for the vehicles, for the automobiles to move, for the stove to fire. Okay, so fuel is very important in our day-to-day life. And can you name some fuels in your home? Name any few fuels used in trade and industry. What fuels are used for running automobiles? Your list will contain cow dung, wood, coal, charcoal, petrol, diesel, natural gas. These are some type of fuel which are used in our day-to-day life. You are familiar with the burning of candle. What is the difference between the burning of candle and the burning of fuel like coal? Maybe you were able to guess right. Candle burns with a flame, whereas coal does not. Okay, see how a candle burns. Candle will burn like a flame, but a coal does not burn with a flame. Similarly, you will find many other materials burning without flame. Let us study this chemical process of burning and the types of flame produced during this process. Okay. What is combustion? Recall the activity of burning of magnesium ribbon performed in class 7. We learned that magnesium burns to form magnesium oxide and produces heat and light. Okay, in 7th standard we have seen magnesium burns to form magnesium oxide that produce heat and light. We can perform a similar activity with a piece of charcoal. Hold a pair of tongs and bring it near the flame of a candle or a Bunsen burner. What do you observe? If we take a charcoal and if we keep it near a flame, what would happen? We find that charcoal burns in air. We know that coal too burns in air, producing carbon dioxide, heat and light. When coal burns in air, it produces carbon dioxide, heat and light. Okay, but if a candle is burning, it just produces a kind of flame only. A chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give out heat is called combustion. What is combustion? The chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give heat is called as combustion. The substance that undergo combustion is said to be combustible. What are the substances which involves combustion is called as a combustible substance. It is also called as a fuel. The fuel may be solid, liquid or gas. Sometimes light is also given off during combustion either as a flame as a glow. In the reactions mentioned above, magnesium and charcoal are combustible substances. Okay, is it clear? So, it is also called as the substances that undergo combustion is known as combustible, and these combustible metals are called as fuel. And they have given some activities. So, the lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called as its ignition temperature. What is ignition temperature? The lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called as ignition temperature. Can you tell now why a matchstick does not catch fire on its own at room temperature? Why does the matchstick start burning on rubbing it on the side of a matchbox? If we keep a matchstick alone, will it catch fire? It will not. But when it is rubbed against its side walls of the matchbox, it will get combustion. It will fire. What is the reason for it? We find that combustible substances cannot catch fire or burn as long as its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. Whenever a substance reaches its ignition temperature only, it will catch fire. Have you ever seen cooking oil catching fire when a frying pan is kept for a long on a burning stove? Kerosene, oil and wood does not catch fire on their own at room temperature. Until they reach their ignition temperature, they will not catch fire. But if wood is heated a little, it will still not catch fire. Does it mean that ignition temperature of the kerosene oil is lower than that of the wood? Does it mean that we need to take special care in storing kerosene oil? The following activity shows that it is essential for a substances to reach ignition temperature to burn. Okay, if we keep a kerosene there at our home for a long time, will it catch fire? Will not, it will not. But when it reaches its ignition temperature, immediately it will catch fire. So some experiments are given there. If we continue heating the cup, we can even boil water in a paper cup. Can you think of an explanation for this phenomena? The heat supplied to the paper cup is transferred to water by conduction. So, in the presence of water, the ignition temperature of the paper is not reached, hence it does not burn. If we heat a paper cup very mildly, the paper cup and the water inside the paper cup will get heated. But until the paper reaches its ignition temperature, it will get burnt. The substances which have very low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with the flame are called as inflammable substances. Okay? So, the substances which have low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with flame are called as inflammable substances. Have you seen a scent bottle or some other chemicals? It is highly inflammable. So, the substances that catch fire easily below its lower ignition temperature are called as inflammable substances. Okay, petrol, alcohol, liquefied petroleum, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, these are some inflammable substances. So, how do we control fire? We must have seen or heard of fire breaking out in homes, shops and factories. If you have seen such an accident, write a short description in your notebook, share the experience with the classmates. If you have any experience regarding a fire accident, you have to write some 4 lines about the fire accidents which you have seen in your town. Okay? Does your city have a fire brigade station? When a fire brigade arrives, what does it do? It pours water on the fire. Water cools the combustible material so the temperature brought below its ignition temperature. Why water is poured on the fire? Because we have to make the substance to come down to its ignition, below its ignition temperature. This prevents the fire from spreading. Water vapors also surround the combustible material, helps in cutting off supply of air, so the fire is extinguished. Okay, so you have learned that there are 3 essential requirements for producing fire. Can you list? One thing is fuel, air and oxygen and heat. Fire can be controlled by removing one or more of these requirements. The job of a fire extinguisher is to cut off the supply of air or to bring down the temperature of the main job of a fire extinguisher is to make the oxygen flow stop, and they have to minimize the ignition temperature. Okay, these 2 things are followed to stop the fire. So, this is the model of a fire extinguisher. The most common fire extinguisher is water. Most commonly, water and sand are used as fire extinguishers. But water works only when things like wood and paper are on fire. If electrical equipment is on fire, water may conduct electricity and harm those trying to douse the fire. Okay, water and sand will work nicely when a wood or paper has caught fire. But some electrical appliances, some the house and all caught fire. The water supply, as water is a good conductor of heat and electricity, it will increase the fire supply and it will cause more damage. So, in that case, a proper fire extinguisher should be used. Do you recall that water is heavier than oil? So, it sinks below the oil and oil keeps burning on the top. For fires involving electrical equipment in inflammable materials like petrol, carbon dioxide is the best extinguisher. Carbon dioxide, being heavier than oxygen, covers the fire like a blanket. Since the contact between fuel and oxygen is cut off, the fire is controlled. The added advantage of carbon dioxide is that in most cases it does not harm the electrical equipment. For most of the cases, carbon dioxide is filled in the fire extinguisher cylinder, and they are used as a fire extinguisher because to cut the supply between oxygen and the firing substances, carbon dioxide makes a blanket around the substance and it stops the oxygen supply. How do we get the supply of carbon dioxide? Can be stored at high pressure as a liquid in cylinders. In what form is the LPG stored in cylinders? When released from the cylinder, carbon dioxide expands enormously in volume and cools down. So, it is not only forms a blanket around the fire, it also brings down the temperature of the fuel. Okay, carbon dioxide does not act only as a blanket, but also it reduces the temperature. That is why it is an excellent fire extinguisher. Another way to carbon dioxide is to release a lot of dry powder of chemicals such as sodium bicarbonate or potassium bicarbonate near the fire. These chemicals give off carbon dioxide. So, for sodium, not only carbon dioxide but sodium bicarbonate and potassium bicarbonate are also used as a fire extinguisher. Okay. So, we have seen about what are the types of fire extinguishers, fuels, okay, in this chapter, and if you have any doubt in this, you have to ask me. And the next session will be types of combustion. What are the types of combustion we are going to see in the next session. Thank you.